we have a question from Karina. She says, Brit, are you talking about sharing frequencies like C-band and KU band?
Sure. So the good point there. And I think you might be referring to what we're talking about in that C2 space, that command and control space, right? So we do have a device called multi-link. The multi part is actually LTE, which is yet another frequency essentially. But if you think about it, when we approach command and control, we look at it from a multi-path and a multi-frequency perspective. And there are a variety of ways that aircraft today. So I'll give you one example. Is I could fly an aircraft that could be relying on LTE as a primary communication, and they say, well, that LTE might fail, and so I add another LTE radio. Well, in that case, I really haven't changed the modality by which I'm communicating. I just have some redundancy in this. The other thing is to say, well, no, I actually want to use LTE and aviation protected C-band, right? Or I want to use LTE and ISM and C-band. Or in the broadest case, I want to use LTE, I want to use ISM, I want C-band available, and as a failover, I want to be able to connect to Starlink, right? And so the equipment that we're developing from an airborne radio perspective is designed to connect to each of those different modalities. And then the Skyline system that we talked about early last year has evolved from kind of this initial focus on LTE and C-band to being able to optimize across all of those. So for the operator, that system is cloud-based. It's constantly looking at what the signal strength is for each one of those, connecting to the aircraft, understanding what the trajectory of the aircraft is, and then ensuring that you're on the right signal to maintain positive control of the aircraft. So it's always a make before break with the radios between the ground stations and the airborne radios themselves. And that ground station could be essentially an LTE tower offered by T-Mobile or British Telecom. It could be your own deployed C-band radio that you attach to a DeWalt looking type battery that you deployed in the field because you got to go do fire department operations to put out a forest fire. Or it could be Starlink that you're connecting back on, right? And each one of those modalities and capabilities has with it its own service levels, has with it its own pros and cons. You as an operator want to be on the best one at the right time to do the right thing, and that's what the system is providing essentially. So I definitely believe in being able to pull together kind of a multitude of different frequency bands for whatever the right mission is. Obviously, we're a big proponent of C-band as well. It's protected for aviation. We think that's a good path forward to be able to maintain positive command and control and still allow room for payload consideration. I need to get video back. I need to get imagery back. I need to get, sensor data back. Well, we have other modalities that we can do that with. Aviation protected C-band then stays in the C2 lane and lets you operate the aircraft safely.